Hey, Shalom, Shalom, Shalom. First and foremost, call hello, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Dash. Of course, double honors go out to the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone who deserve double honors. Salutations also go out to the fellow Akim out there on the highways and byways, pushing this truth with all sincerity and honesty across the four corners of this earth. All right, trying to wake up the remaining hopeful elect, because as we know, time is short. This is now I'm out of the DC camp. As you see here on the screen, Fair Use Act disclaimer, because I'm fixing to show a video purely as a teaching tool. I am not profiting off of it. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news, reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, and research. All right. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. All right. Like I say, this is just for, as it says, comment, education, research, and reporting. All right. So let's get to it. So in this video, as we've often told you, and yes, all these nations are our enemies, but you have to understand something, especially when it comes to Jake. This piece of shit so-called white man, whose biblical nationality is that of Edom, the descendants of Jacob's brother Esau. Alright? They are the wicked that the Bible speaks of. Alright? This is who we're dealing with. And as such, these immigrants are coming out, as in this video here, and telling us behind closed doors what these wicked motherfuckers are doing. See, it all comes back to Jake. Alright? I'm not going to spoil it for you, but I was going to say, is our hatred, is our gripe with these immigrants misplaced? Not really, but when you understand who is the evil genius pulling the strings behind the scene, you'll see what I'm saying right here. Because she's not the only one. There's another channel that I watch from time to time, and it's this Moabite. Oh man, and she's handing these red devils their fucking asses. She's going in on them. Alright, that'll be another video I'll do. Maybe tonight, I don't know. But in any case, let's go ahead and roll this. This is, man, when you think you can't help, you can't hate, hate this piece of shit so-called white man anymore. See, this is what we also tell you, that we are finding out more and more about just how low this motherfucker has gone, just how much shit he has done behind the scenes when it concerns us. And trust you me, there's much more to it. This is why, well, let's go ahead and roll the video, because I don't want to get ahead of myself. So here we go. Them folks, that's right. Grateful. Yeah. See how they set that shit up? What did I just say at the top? See, this is the thing. This is how this motherfucker rolls. He's playing playing us against each other. Alright, and to this point, he has succeeded in doing so. Now you understand why they're going to put more effort in coming into us, because we have started, I'm talking about Great Millstone and others that preach the same doctrine, because we're exposing them. Alright, we're letting you know all this history. This is what's behind this anti-critical race so-called theory, or put it their way, it's critical race actual facts, but they call it theory because now all this stuff is coming out. So now you got this big wave, anti-woke, you know, all this shit. But see, here's where our people messed up. You've allowed degenerates, and I'm talking about the motherfucking LGBT, whatever else comes after all that shit. Alright. Hook up their wagon to us. For what? Why? And that's all that motherfucker down there in Florida needed. Had the nerve to ban so-called black studies, African American studies. Alright? Why? Because what they did is saying, well, you know, the LGBTQ, I forget what letters, but, you know, you're trying to stick up for them, and all they're going to do is just like everybody else did. Alright, they're going to get what they want after using our cause as a springboard. And guess who? It never fails. And these are, what does, or what do a degenerate group of pedophiles, homos, and who knows whatever else have to do with us? Why you're saying that they're oppressed? They're supposed to be. They're degenerates. That has nothing to do with us. See, that's the thing with being basically told as a people from your oppressor who you should, and I'm serious when I say this, because the so-called educated people amongst us that, I don't know, that are chosen to be our representatives or whatever, leadership, and we all know the scriptures for that, you know, Jeremiah 14:2 and Zechariah 11 and 5, they all sell out. They're all sellouts. Alright? They're either boule, or well, basically they just have their own interest or the interest of the oppressor. Alright? That, not in ours. That's why we never got anywhere. And you have to understand, the civil rights era exposed these devils worldwide. So what do you think they did? They had to come back and say, through all their legislation, trying to turn the table, said, no, these people, look at them. They're filling up the jails because they're just evil. In other words, they're trying to say what we did in the past was justified. That's what they had been doing since the 60s. Flipping the script, more or less. All the blaxploitation movies, all that shit, all that was strategy. Then when we started all going, a lot of us started going to schools. And if I had to put a year on it, I would say around 77 or something like that. And then you started getting this, during the Carter administration, then you started getting these colleges started to become more and more expensive. All right. And to finally, and then with the putting the drugs in our neighborhoods, of course, all that started with Nixon when he actually declared war on our people. It wasn't a war on drugs, it was a war on our people, disguised as a war on drugs. Just the same. And you got this piece of shit in the White House now that was part of all that. Yes, Biden. So here they've gone. There was another Jake 3 or 4 years ago. He was over in China. I've saved this video somewhere. I got it. I know they won't take that down. But he was out and about one evening, and he came up on this drunk Moabite, drunk off his ass. He went to help the guy, and the guy was like, afraid of him, trying to get away from him. He asked the guy, he said, what's wrong? And he said, you're dangerous. He said, what? I'm what? He said, you're dangerous. He said, who told you that? He said, the white man. I shit you not. This is what they have done. Remember, for those of you that saw the movie Soldier Story, that was a, Jake all-star cast, young Denzel Washington, and several more that would go on to, fame. But in that scene where Sergeant Waters and the actor, I think he's still alive, his name is Art Evans. He was all, played a supporting role, and he played the sergeant that Sergeant Waters took his stripes, right? So he was a suspect, of course, in the murder of Sergeant Waters, but in reflection back, he was telling a story about how Sergeant Waters hated, what was the guy's name? Was it EJ? No, he was, or was it CJ Memphis? Yeah, that's who it was. He's playing his guitar and everything, singing the blues and everything, and Sergeant Waters didn't like that. I think Sergeant Waters was from New York or something like that. And, he just had that hatred for that man. And it was like, these are your people, all right, that they get. And like that mayor in, is it Birmingham, Alabama, that they caught? He was a Jake. Somebody recorded him, and he was talking about he don't care. It doesn't matter, more or less, that if it's all black town or whatever have you, as far as majority, not all black, but say over 50%, say 60%, something like that. I think that's, I can't remember exactly the number. But he up and told you, said, as long as I get enough white votes, I don't give a shit. So what is that telling you? Yeah, they actually caught him saying he was one of these that, went to, university, and, he, in other words, think he was handpicked. All right. So when we say we have to get the fuck up out of here, that's what exactly we mean. We need to get the fuck up out of here. All right. And all the scriptures we point out, this is not our rest. Micah 2 and 10. It's exactly because we are still slaves here. We were never free, like the average American that goes to, you guessed it, these schools, and they're fed that bullshit curriculum. All right, but this critical race theory is laying things wide open. That's why things are speeding up, because as in this case, this young lady here, she's one of these immigrants is like, this is some bullshit. And don't kid yourself, a lot of the previous generations of immigrants, they know this, but it was to their benefit to keep fucking quiet, because like I said, in the South with the Moabites, that was the thing. That was the unwritten rule, so to speak. Don't associate with them people. Keep the status quo, and we'll do you right. All right. And this motherfucker got a whole lot of shit to pay for. A whole lot of shit to pay for. He's not getting out of this. This is, in fact, let's go ahead and, I don't want too long, but it's lucky. I apologize. Let's go to, because I'm just, scripture came into my head. Let's go to Micah 2nd chapter. Alright, because woe to the oppressors, right? Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hand. Alright? You know, they're bored. There's another expression about, I can't remember who said it, but something to the effect that you're dealing with, when you're talking about the elites, you're dealing with people that have amassed so much fucking money. Alright, money is no longer something that interests them. A lot of them, they've never had to work a hard day in their life. Alright, but what do you think comes next? It's having that, or exercising that raw, naked power over another human being, or beings. These are the people, these banking elite, these are the ones that run this world. Do you think they're going to go gently and quietly? Hell no. So this is the reason Daniel 12:1 is there. Because they're going to do anything and everything to keep their position. Alright, continuing on. 2, and they covet fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man in his house, even a man in his heritage. They even took our identity. They even took our identity. Therefore, thus saith the Most High, how it gave us what? An idol. Jesus Christ. Therefore, thus saith the Most High Yahweh, behold, against this family do I devise an evil, from which ye shall not remove your neck. See, because he was, as it says in 2 Thessalonians 2nd chapter, when it talks about, well, let's get it real quick, until he will let, or he's being allowed, or has been allowed to do what he's been doing, because he served that purpose. 2 Thessalonians 2. Let's see. Alright. Might as well start at 3. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition, who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called the Most High, or that is worshipped, so that as the Most High sitteth in the temple of the Most High, showing himself that he is the Most High. Some of you never heard the comments. I forget the guy's name. He's an underling of Klaus Schwab, talking about how their technology is such now they don't care if the Most High gets angry. Five, remember you not that when I was with you, I told you these things. And now you know that withholdeth that he might be revealed, and this time he is being revealed. 7, for the mystery of iniquity doth already work. Only he who now letteth will let until he be taken out of the way. Alright? He knows his time is short. That's why things are happening in the way and at the speed that they're happening now. 8, and then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, which are the prophets that are out there on the highways and byways, telling you about this sad man, the wicked, the so-called white man, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming, even him whose coming is after the work of Satan, with all power and signs and lying wonders. They just had, I think someone put in the group chat, putting chips in people's brains that curing blindness and deafness, and this is foretold in Revelation 13th chapter. All right, and with all deceivableness, of unrighteousness in them that perish, because they received not the love of the truth, that they might be saved. All right, so let's go back and watch the remainder of this video. Mm. You see that shit? Are you hearing this shit? Slacky. Yep. And you notice her body language. Yeah, she grew up here. She may very well be a Jake, you know. Mm-hmm. Yep. Oh, you did. But I mean, it's gone to a whole new level. So much manipulation has happened. A lot of our people are just gone. Just, you know, only, and I gotta say this, only death will cure. Alright, what's wrong with a lot of our people. That's Jake here, Southern Kingdom, that's Israel as a whole. Alright, wherever they're at, scattered abroad. Alright, that 2/3 is a lot of Jake, a lot of Israelites. So yeah, it apparent, you know, just repeating itself, but the point has been made. This devil has a lot to answer for. All the manipulation behind the scenes, all the lying and the deceit, all this. This is what he's good at. This is his MO. When we say devil, it just means liar and deceiver. Is that not what he's doing? Alright? And all the while, these people that are being isolated. Think about that. Nowhere to go. Nobody wants them as a result. This has been going on for ages. Alright? Goddamn shame. Hey, so with that, until the next video, hey, shalom.